Guy. Hello, friends. You guys are so well behaved. I appreciate that very much. My name is Eva Marsberg. I'm the partner manager for North America at the Adventure Travel Trade Association. I'm here to provide a brief overview of the ATTA before we move into a panel discussion and networking. We also have some fun giveaways that we will sprinkle in throughout this presentation, so don't go anywhere. But I'm not here alone. I'd like to point out a few people in the audience. My 4 colleagues, Gustavo, Nico, Hannah, and Monica. Will you please stand up? And if you're so lucky to be sitting behind Monica, Nico, and Hannah, you have just won a water filtration bottle from LifeStraw. So next, I'd like to invite our ambassadors, our Adventure Travel Trade Association ambassadors, to stand up. Thank you. And thank you for all you do. You're very, very important to our community. Next, I'll invite all of our ATTA members to stand up. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you're new to our community, please find one of us, ambassadors, members, ATTA staff, during the networking event so that you can connect with us and learn more about the ATTA, or you can visit our booth tomorrow. Let me see if I can do this. Voila. So over the past 20 years, the Adventure Travel Trade Association has become a vital leadership voice and trusted community for the outdoor and adventure travel industry around the world. As a membership-driven organization, we provide inspiration, education, and networking opportunities for our members. We also engage in our own research, we offer educational courses, and we work with regional leaders on developing a successful adventure travel industry in their destination, large or small. And this is what drives us day in and day out. Our mission is to empower the global travel community to protect nature and conserve cultural heritage while creating shared economic value. We like to say that the ATTA is at the intersection of culture, commerce, community, and conservation. We believe that tourism can be a force for good in the world. With specialized expertise in research, education, media, and promotion, the ATTA offers valuable support for managing a broad set of challenges across many areas of your business. We offer a deep portfolio of strategic solutions and a robust ecosystem of events around the world. This is the suspense. The value we bring is the connections to key industry players, deep industry knowledge, and global trust. So adventure travel, we talk a lot about adventure travel, but what really is adventure travel? We look at adventure travel as a very broad term and an inclusive term that includes a lot of these other tourisms that are being used in the industry. Nature-based tourism, ecotourism, outdoor tourism. Within the larger tourism economy, adventure tourism is dominated by small businesses working in rural areas and wilderness environments. It's heavily dependent on natural capital and views the protection and promotion of natural resources as central to its continued success. In order to protect these assets, the ATTA has been deeply committed to sustainability since 1990. Last year, we launched our membership community commitment. It's an initiative that encourages all ATTA business members to embrace sustainable practices in their operations. It's built on 3 pillars: educating, equipping, and empowering. Plus, in combination with strategic partnerships, some of them being the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund, Tomorrow's Air, Travel Life, and 1% for the Planet. our goal is really to help our members embrace sustainability practices in their operations. And you see the 68% here. It's when we asked members in 2023, how many of you have or are working towards a sustainability certification? It was 68%, which was up from 45% 2 years before. With this initiative having been rolled out, we expect to see that number rise dramatically. To further bring value to our business membership, we have a new membership that we rolled out, a new benefit to our business membership, which is access to the ATTA's online educational course in safety and risk management. So by becoming a business member, you gain access to this, and it's included in your membership. As well, you get to unlock an additional course of your choice each year. On that note, we invite you to become a part of the Adventure Travel Trade Association to connect with a global network of trusted adventure travel companies that share your passion for sustainable tourism, business growth, and innovation. As an ATTA member, you gain access to valuable education and training, resources, industry insights, event discounts, and meaningful connections that help you navigate challenges, find new business opportunities, and strengthen your brand's reputation as a leader in responsible and resilient travel. With that, I'd like to introduce you to our upcoming Adventure Travel Trade Association business events, so Trade to Trade. We'll start in Latin America. We have Adventure Elevate. Oh, it's one of those slides. Let's start actually with AdventureCONNECT. So AdventureCONNECT is what we're all here today to do. It is a free networking event for members and non-members alike. Everyone's welcome. We have them occasionally online, but the real value of these is really to come together in person. So thank you for coming. Then we have our organized flagship events. And now we'll go to Latin America. We're going to go to Bonito in Brazil for our Adventure Elevate, which is a regional event. You can scan the QR code for more information. In the interest of time and having talked all day, I'll spare you me talking more and myself. Next, we'll go to Adventure Elevate in North America in Denver. Did you get the QR code yet? I'll move on. Try to move on. Try to move on. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm too fast, but I'll go back one. Adventure Travel World Summit, we don't want to miss this one. This is our largest event of our flagship events. About 700-800 people. We will gathering in Puerto Natales in Chile in October. And for the next piece of our events, I'd like to introduce my wonderful colleague, Monica Gazzera. Did I get that right?
Thank you, Eva. So, as you see, Adventure Elevate is finally coming back to Europe after a successful first edition in Austria last year. And let's keep a little bit of silence. Please get your phones ready to scan the Save the Date page. But first, I would like you to welcome on stage the person that will announce it with me. Just a little thought before getting into details. Each one of these events requires a lot of time, a lot of work by committed and passionate people, not only from ATTA team, but also from our trusted partners. And so it's with a great pleasure that I invite on stage with me our partner, Patrick Torrent. Ours is a job of trust, of passion. And so I haven't introduced you on intention because I would love you to introduce yourself and your beautiful destination who will host Adventure Elevate.
Thank you very much, Monica. Thank you very much to ATTA. For us, it's a great pleasure to receive in Catalonia, in the Catalan Pyrenees, in next 2026, the Elevate Europe. For us, is a great opportunity, and why we want to receive Elevate, why we can invest passion, invest time, invest efforts in order to provide the best possible experience to our visitors. First of all, because we are now developing our new strategy, our new marketing plan for 25-28, and in the middle, in the center of this marketing plan, we will have the resident and the social sustainability of tourism. It's for this reason that we are so committed with the proposals that offers us the opportunity to attract conscious travelers. Who could help us to attract conscious travelers? Obviously, the platforms like ATTA that offers us the opportunity to develop best experiences focused in this particular profile of customers. It's for this reason they are so happy because it's part of our strategy, it's part of our commitment with the community, with the local community, is part of our purpose as a Catalan Tourist Board that is no other than provide well-being to the whole community through the values of traveling. Then thank you very much and see you in the Catalan Pyrenees. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you very much. We are super excited for this event. I'd also like to bring on stage Anna from We Travel. We Travel is a...
Hi everyone, I'm Anna from We Travel. We're completely thrilled to be able to co-host today's networking event. If you haven't had the chance to drop by yet, please come say hi at the booth 118 in the hall 5.1. We Travel supports over 8,000 multi-day travel organizers throughout the whole journey, starting from itinerary creating, managing bookings, processing international payments, all the way to supplier transfers. And today, I would love to welcome on stage one of our adorable customers, Julie from Impulse Travel, to let her tell more.
No, thank you, Anna. No, I'm super happy. Thank you to We Travel. We are being able to grow and using as our technology partner. It's super cool because you can put together itineraries for group trips so you can see who's joining. Most of our business is B2B, so also we can get transfer, we can get payments there. So thank you so much for everything you do and super happy to keep working with you.
We're excited to be working with you also, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Anna and We Travel. Timo. Juliana is part of our panel, so Juliana, please have a seat on stage.
Here or there? Well, I don't know.
You are first on stage, you get to pick. And next, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Gustavo Chimo. He's the VP of Impact and Sustainability. And I'll let you take it from here.
Yes, thank you. Welcome everyone. It's a great pleasure to have you all here. Thank you for coming. It's always a full house. We prepared a nice panel for you to share some of the challenges and the solutions our members and partners around the globe are facing today. For this panel, we choose the theme of sustainable growth. And before I go further, I would like to invite Eoghan Vulser. Vulser?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
Good enough?
Yeah, it's good enough.
And again, Patrick Torrent, the Executive Director of Catalonia. So the theme today is to discuss sustainable growth and how to manage the balancing act between growing demand, climate change, consumer behavior changes, and managing health companies and destinations. So the bottom line is there is a lot of growth, a lot of pressure, a lot of demand. And so how does companies and destinations from different perspectives, and here we have Julie from Colombia, so a perspective from Latin America. Then we have Eoghan from Altai that manages many DMCs around the globe, and a destination to share their challenges and their solutions. I'll briefly introduce them so you know the rock stars that you have here sharing their experiences with you. Juliana Medina is the CEO and founder of Impulse Travel, a purpose-driven DMC in Colombia that connects travelers with local change makers, social leaders, artists, and visionaries. Creating transformative experiences beyond tourism, she began her journey as a tour guide and it's now a recognized change maker using travel as a tool for impact. Welcome, Juliana. It's always a great pleasure to have you on stage.
Thank you, Gustavo.
Yeah. Then we have Eoghan. what's the right way to say it? Vulser or Wulser?
Vulser.
Vulser. Okay. Welcome, Jan.
Nearly.
I'll get there over time. Thank you for being here. It's a great pleasure to have you here. So Jan is a curious, insatiable, and reluctant to follow the beaten path. He has found in travel a way of quenching his thirst for discovery. Adventure travel has been his passion for the last 25 years, and he's tried to share his passion in every trip as a source of wonder and meaning in his ambition with the Altai Group team. Altai has been recently certified as a B Corp member. They take an average of 25 people a year globally on trips everywhere via their network of 28 DMCs around the globe, supporting 200 employees and 300 guides, all of whom share their vision of positive commitment on responsible outdoor tourism. Thank you for being here. Yeah, that's great. So then we have Mr. Patrick Torrent from Catalonia. Patrick is the executive director of the Catalan Tourism Board, as you just noticed. Thank you again, Patrick, for hosting us in 2026. We're super excited to go to Catalonia. It's going to be amazing to have that journey together with you there. Patrick is the executive director of Catalan Tourism Board, also the vice president of Next Tour. Patrick is graduated in industrial psychology for the organizations by the University of Barcelona, a bachelor in law by UNED. He has the formation in marketing management from ESAD and in systems management information by Master Associates. From 25 to 29, he was the deputy director general of the Consorce Tourism de Catalunya and the deputy director of the Catalan Tourism Board from 2010 when it was created until 2013. So a long career in the DMO's destination management sector. He's currently the executive director of CTB. Patrick has participated actively in the creation of the new Catalan Tourism Board and stimulated the definition of the 3 strategic plans of tourism in Catalonia, has also coordinated the 2 tourism marketing plans of Catalonia, has been associate teacher at different universities, speakers, and organized several events. Since 2015, he represents Catalonia at Next Tour, which is a global, it's a regional network of 41 regional tourism authorities and 39 partner organizations. So I welcome very much Patrick as well here. So the idea today, we're going to run a series of questions for them. So I'll start with 3 questions, then the idea that they make questions to themselves. And then you, depending on the timing here, I would love to have questions coming from the audience. So it's very casual, and the idea is really to start a conversation that we can start here and then move outside as we are between you and your drinks, right? That will start in some minutes. So the idea is that the conversations we start here can spark conversations in the lounge where drinks will be served. So I'll start with Patrick. So Catalonia has been a leader in sustainable tourism, implementing initiatives that balance tourism growth with environmental and cultural preservation. All the plans and the actions we have put in place is approving of that. So the question is, what have been the biggest challenges in maintaining the balance? And what are the strategies? What strategies have been most effective in ensuring long-term sustainability for the region?
Well, our main challenge, and is still our main challenge, is to guarantee the social sustainability of tourism in Catalonia. You know that Catalonia in particular, and Barcelona in particular, we have the challenge, we develop a good balance between visitors and residents' needs. Then is probably our main concern to develop tourism in our destination, because we need to develop for the tourism in Catalonia. For the themes that we want a tourism more deconcentrated, more deseasonalized, more diversified, and more distributed in terms of incoming. It's for the reason that we think that the main action we need is to develop a good prestige of the tourism activity among our residents. Why can we develop that? Well, considering the visitor as a temporary resident. We want to consider the visitor as a temporary resident with duties and rights, both. Because if not, the resident could consider that, well, they are, but using resources that could be identified as reserved for the residents, and it's for the reason that we think that it's good for everyone to consider that we all are the same community. We are not separated. We need to consider the visitors then as a part of our community, as a part of the people that are living together. It not depends if they will stay with us for 2 days or for 20 years. It's important for us to consider all of them as a part of us. And it's one of the main challenges we have. In order to maintain our commitment with this responsible tourism model, I think that our main success was to develop a clear strategy for inclusive tourism when we started in accessible tourism in 2006. That seems is 19 years ago. Catalonia was the first region, the first destination to be part of ENAT. ENAT is European Network for Accessible Tourism. All the members were private companies and associations and NGOs. The first destination considered as a part of ENAT was Catalonia. We are proud about because that, and thanks to that, we have been developing a good and constant action and strategy to develop sustainable tourism, and in particular, accessible tourism, tourism for all in Catalonia. It's one of the elements that helped us to ensure the social sustainability of tourism, the cultural sustainability of tourism, and at the same time, the environmental sustainability of tourism.
Amazing, great, yeah. Great concept on not only making tourism as good for the community first, but considering travelers also part of the community. It's really, really interesting. That's great, thank you. Then I go to Juliana. So Julie, Impulse Travel has been at the forefront of using tourism as a force for good, making a difference in Colombia in creating transformative experiences there. Particularly, how do you see consumer expectations evolving when it comes to responsible travel, and how was your company adapted to meet the demands of travelers seeking more meaningful and sustainable experiences?
Yeah, so I feel like, especially since pandemic, the travelers are looking more for meaningful interactions and for the travels to matter, which is very cool because it's the thing that we have been doing for a few times. So for you to get an idea of what we do is that we at Impulse Travel, we are DMC, and we are all about creating itineraries and an experience with our travelers in Colombia that not only are fun and are things to remember, but also that are part of the transformation and a part of the process and of the willing of the communities. So then I see sometimes actually in a bit of scare, because I see more and more people say, oh, I want to do good things and I want to do volunteering and I want to do this, and sometimes I feel like, yeah, okay, let's do it, but let's ask, like, what is the challenge that the community want to do now? And they said, no, I want to do this, and I want to go with the kids, and I want to teach a class. And I said, but this is more complicated like that. I'm not going to stop at school just for you and go and teach a class. Like, how would you feel if I would do the same with your kids in your school? That just the whole school stop because you come and then you're going to teach a class. So sometimes it's about, like, the travelers want to do more good, but in how we achieve that is sometimes not in the way that they expected that it should be done. So, for example, what we do is that travelers, when go to Colombia, it's Colombia, in case you didn't know, we're all about dance, of course, like Shakira said, our hips don't lie. But the thing is that, okay, so let's dance, and instead of just going to any dance schools, then we take them to a dance school that have been using dance to transform a whole community and a whole neighborhood, to break borders that used to be gangs, and how they're using dance to break those things between. So we take the travelers there where they learn how to dance salsa, but at the same time they're hearing inspirational stories and they're having a fun time. So it's about also sometimes the things that you need to do sometimes are small and it's still fun. It doesn't have to be that you're building a school with your own shoulders.
Yeah, that's great. So the matchmaking of how you match, how the community can absorb that experience does not mean you're disrupting the community routine with travelers. It's about like the conciliation of needs and expectations. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, then I go to Eoghan. So Altai Group operates in multiple destinations with strong focus on adventure travel. As a company that connects travelers with local communities, how do you navigate the balance between meeting the rising demand for adventure experiences while ensuring the environmental and cultural integrity of the destinations you operate in?
Well, we have to start from the story of the group, because at the beginning, 40 years ago, in Altai Group, there are several brands which are tour operators from France. And we decided 20 years ago to open the DMC because we wanted to make an integration, a vertical integration, in order to get the control on the ground and on the field. Because we were thinking that it's a good thing if a tour operator have a vision, it's a good thing if a DMC have a vision, it's a good thing if the shareholder have a vision, but the better thing is to have a straight line and one line, and to make the points and the vision the same for the three stages of the tourism. So we opened our DMCs, and what we are doing, we are thinking that the direct point of contact with local communities, with local culture and experiences is the DMC. So we involved all our DMCs and we let them take the decision of what they have to do. If I have to take only one example, we have a foundation in Altai. Usually a foundation is managed by the main countries, the home office for us in France, and everything is distributed by France. We decided to share the budget of the foundation between all the DMC and let them the responsibility of taking the decision what they want to do directly with the money, directly on the country, because they are the best they know the best the things they have to do on the field. So the thing the most important is to have a clearly vision of what we want to do and what other impacts we want to have, even when we are growing is involve locals, population, even hotels or restaurants we are working in on the same vision of a sustainable and positive and committed tourism.
Perfect.
Because sometimes the vision is from here, from the Occidental or European, is not the same, and we don't face the same problem that they have on the country, on the field, and we always have to share the experiences and to work all together on the vision of sustainability.
Okay, that's great, thank you. So now I open to our panelists here to make a question to each other, but also we will invite the audience, the plenary, to make questions if you have as well. But you'd like to start with a question to yourselves.
Patrick, I have a question for you. Is that Colombia, it's like the hidden gem, still like a new player in the industry. So to give you a little bit of context, like we are 3 times the size of Germany, and we have 5 million visitors that come in. And meanwhile, and we're so diverse, like we have the Andes, the Amazon, the Pacific, the Caribbean, everything like all half in America in one country, and still we get 5 million visitors. And you in the region in Spain, you get 20 million international visitors a year. So how, like, what would be the recommendation that you can give us, like, Colombia is growing, like now is the time to go, because now like the numbers are growing so fast. Is that how would be the recommendation for us that to face that, the future that is coming ahead?
The first recommendation is to avoid our mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
because it's true that in some destinations, the development of the destinations, the development in urbanism, in the city, in the villages, in the littoral, in our coast, was the consequence of no planning the activity. We need to plan the land in order to ensure a good activity, a good development of the tourism and the visitor economy in this land. In our case, in Barcelona and other parts of Catalonia, we are now fighting a lot in order to change the model. We are in the transition from a volume to a value model. Is so complicated. If you have the opportunity to create a value model from the beginning, from the point zero, I recommend absolutely to work on it and to work planning, absolutely planning, identifying every 3-4 years the path to follow in order to align all the agents, private and public. And don't forget the reticence as well. In the past, when we started the activity of the Catalan Tourism Board, we say that the Catalan Tourism Board is a PPP, a public-private partnership. Now we are changing the name. We are a PPRP, public-private resident partnership. We want to be that. We want to include the resident at the center of the equation. We haven't that in the past, not in Catalonia, but not in the rest of Catalonia, not only in Barcelona. And now is one of the main transformations of our new marketing plan. We are not talking about markets, we are talking about audiences. And one of the audience is the resident as one of our main priorities for our communication policy.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Great, amazing. Wow, that's decreasing the learning curve for destination for sure. Thank you so much, Patrick, for sharing. Other questions?
For me to Juliana, then.
Okay, throw it back.
No, how can you ensure a right balance between the visitor experiences, your customer experience, and the volume and the results of your company? At the end, you are a private company and you need to offer good results. What is the middle point? What is the right balance between both?
Well, so we are right now in a point that we are having around 4,000 travelers a year. So I don't think we are still like in the overcrowded moment in our history. Maybe in a few years, I call you Patrick. Please help me to handle this. But so far, what we're doing is that, yes, of course. Something actually that a few summits ago when I was in Switzerland about this idea of growing and growing and growing just for the sake of growing. Like we at Impulse Drive, we just want to grow and we don't want everyone to come to Colombia. It's also something that we want the right people. Mm-hmm. We want the right kind of travelers, the travelers that care. So that's something that we're doing with our own message and the way that we're selling, so the way that we're partnering with. So also something interesting is that, for example, in Colombia, 95% of the hotels has less than 25 rooms. So it's small, like just the infrastructure itself, it's meant to be like, this, like to make it feel like authentic and to make it feel, and at the same time, something that we are looking for in that way to balance is that the travelers feel like not just a number or just like another traveler. Like a very common feedback that we get is that this was really special and that was a lifetime memory that we'll have. So yeah.
Great.
Now for Jan, if it's possible. Hi, Jan. No, just you are putting in touch visitors and residents. In this case, your company is working on that. How can you identify the right point of this contact? Do you have problems, for example, for the integration of the visitors in the local community, or problems in the acceptation from the residents of these flows of visitors? How are you managing that?
The main thing is to make a long-term partnership and relationship based on human values that we are sharing with the people. Especially, for example, when we are in a country since 25 years, we are not speaking about customers and prestataors of services. We are speaking about like really friends and family. And the good thing is always to find the good balance between giving them business because they want and they need and they deserve business, but not too much, and follow this always on a day by day, in order to always maintain it in a number, an acceptable number. We will face and we will have to, in one moment, decided that growing and always growing is not a good issue. You can't growing always. It's impossible. So one thing to do, for example, is decide to go on another valley. Okay, we have a big success on Annapurna in Nepal. Okay, maybe Annapurna will be too much crowded. We decide to stop to sell it, and we will try another way, because we also have to share the benefits of tourism between all of the parts. Today, 90% of the tourism go to 2% of the countries, nothing more. So always looking, getting on the field, and looking, searching for new families, new partnerships, in order to share the business for everybody.
That's great. We can open to the audience now. Does anyone have a question? Or right here, I have a friend, Eva, please, a friend here. My lucky friend who got the water bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all, for sitting in front of me. It was very kind of you. My question is actually to all three of them, because I was living in the Middle East, and there was a dramatic growth when it comes, for example, to travel to Mecca, where the government, they restricted a certain numbers and as well duplication to come for Hajj. I mean, this is a slightly different topic, but nevertheless, what Barcelona is facing and maybe Colombia is facing in the future, that you should already start limiting spaces. So, because the experience in overcrowded places for the tourists is as well bad. I mean, this we were facing, we have long queues, we cannot visit the sites and these kind of stuff. So what is your perspective, or maybe as a proposal, how you can manage to limit, or let's say a gradual growth, so you can actually accommodate the well-being of the tourists as well? I mean, growth, the people will come anyway, but to say restrictions, though, in a matter that we really can accommodate the number who is coming. Because Saudi, honestly, is now literally a disaster in Mecca. The tourists come, they book the hotel for 8 hours only, so the rooms are booked 3 times a day. You have 8 hours to do the Hajj, come back, quickly go, and then and they have the biggest hotel with 10,000 rooms now. The Kaaba or the Mecca area is becoming really like, I don't know, the Holy Spirit is gone. The Saudis, they say it by themselves. They did a big mistake. I just was with the Saudi in Mecca with the booth. So to avoid these things, maybe what is your proposal to not having this kind of mistakes, also what Mr. Torrens said? Thank you.
We will have to put a limitation. We have to. But we have to find the best way to do it, and for sure it's not by the money, because it's a way you can do it, making the thing getting always with a bigger cost. So I think that the more easy and the most easy to put on is making what, for example, they have done in the Inca Trail in Peru. There is 500. Possibility of tourism by day. That's it. And if you want to go, it means also that you really want to go, and you will. It's not like because you've seen a picture on Instagram. Okay, I go tomorrow on Machu Picchu. Okay, it's limited. Why is it limited? If they took this decision, it's because there is a really good reason, and it really my trip will be the dream I have to put back on the way of traveling, and not only make consummation and taking the good selfie. So probably limitation by the numbers would be the best way to do it.
Yeah. So in Colombia, that's also what we're doing. So we have in the national parks specifically, because it's where, of course, Colombia is the second most diverse country in the world. So we are very, we have a lot of responsibility and a huge treasure that we need to take care of. So we have maximum capacity, and once it's settled, then you cannot go anymore. Then also, for example, the most visited national park, that is the Tayrona Park, also it's closed 1 month a year, 15 days in one and then 15 days. So actually we're making jokes with other friends that we should make a marketing campaign for the countries that we care more than the nature than you, so no matter if you want to come, it's closed anyway. But anyway, so the thing is that the park is closed during those dates because it's the driest time of the year, also because it's the land for indigenous communities, so they said, I want this time for for do our sacred rituals, so the land is clean and all that. So yeah, this is like capacity, something that we're working on, that we are like, before it gets too crowded.
In the case of Catalonia, you used to say the same always. We don't want more tourism, we want better tourism in our destination. It's for the reason that one of the tools in order to manage that is to put limits. Limits in the city, for example. The Parc Güell and Sagrada Familia has really well structured the capacity and the capacity of charge every day, then we manage it. But even in the natural areas, for example, one of the parts of our Pyrenees, where the next Elevate Europe will be celebrated in 2026, excuse me for the spot, but is in Congost de Mont-Rebei. Congost de Mont-Rebei is a breathtaking canyon, absolutely a paradise for people that are doing canoeing and, for example, climbing and hiking, but overcrowded during the last pandemic, because everybody were there from Barcelona, for example, and then they needed to close this area. That was closed for 1.5 years. And after that, the reflection of the owners, because it's part of a private foundation and managed in a public-private partnership, decided to put limits, and now was the good examples, or the best examples of managing natural areas in order to ensure a good experience for visitors, a good experience for residents, and obviously the preservation of the natural area.
Yeah. It's a great example. I also want to add, there's a few other points here. One is this, when we engage with destinations, or the way we share the message of adventure travel, is we're talking about the 3 Ds, in opposite of the 3 S's, like sea, sun, and sand. And so the 3 Ds, diversification, dispersion, and deepening of experiences. So like how we create deeper experiences on the places that you go. How do we diversify the products, the offering, and how do you disperse travelers? And that dispersion is one of the key things, because as Patrick said, and we heard, the change from the volume to the value, and we have been hearing a lot about let's create a high value, low volume type of destination policy or incentives and all of that. One thing to consider is high, and it goes to Jan's comment, or it's not about making things more expensive, it's about taking the dollar where it has more value. So how do we make destinations do the next step, or take the effort to reach the places that's still off the beaten path, that still will really make a difference on bringing, maybe it's a backpacker, maybe it's mid-range travel, but that flow of money in that specific area, we're going to really make a difference, and that traveler experience will really be awesome and authentic and original of that. So I think the future looks like the high volume places, that there will be high volume places. I mean, so it's going to be limitations. It's going to be a very different experience than that we would like. We see the ideal one, and then the ideal experience will be for the travel that will take probably the next step. That's probably something we'll see in the future. More questions. I think we have time for one more question from the audience. Yes, please.
Hello, I have a question. I'm from Albania, the host country of the fair. Albania had a border between Albania and Europe years ago, and in these last 3 years, this border is vanishing. So Europeans are coming to Albania. They're growing, the tourism is growing massively. They say 10 million, 11 million, but sometimes they're counting even my father when he turned back from Italy after he met my brother. So my question is, what is the key to have, like for a young country like us in tourism, to have a sustainable tourism? So this growing can be constant, and what can we provide to, because Albania have some problem in like safeties, people think, etc. So how we can market it more to make it more acceptable for European and worldwide countries?
In my opinion, let me say that you are lucky. because you are a diverse destination. Catalonia is one of the 3 main destinations in Europe, with Paris-Île-de-France and Canary Islands. But let me say that these 2 destinations are monoproduct destinations. Urban tourism in the case of Paris-Île-de-France, Sun and Beach in the case of Canary Islands. Catalonia is in the top of the 10 rankings, not in the first position, but in the top 10 rankings in motivations to visit Catalonia. Then it's necessary to identify your assets, identify your targets, your publics, and especially planning your action, planning your activity, but not alone from the public perspective, but together with the private sector and obviously with the resident. The good governance of tourism is the key factor of success of the sustainability of your model in the future, not only environmental, but social, cultural, and economic sustainability as well. And in this case, as I recommended to Juliana, for destinations that are growing, if you have the opportunity to create from value, continue creating from value. Thank you.
Yeah, same. I totally agree with Patrick. You have the luck to see what we've done bad everywhere. So you just know what not to do. And the other thing is to have a vision on a long way, not only on a short term. Destinations which are working only on short-term value are always making mistakes. And we all know everywhere from here that tourism is cyclist. It's a cyclism activity, and you have to be prepared to extend your lifetime value in tourism for a really long time.
I don't know, I'm with you also on the same path, so let's go and walk together. I see that Colombia and Albania were in the same path, so yeah, keep you posted. Yeah.
Right. I think we have time for one more question before we close. Last question before the drinks. Idrisha there, Eva. Like on the back. Yeah.
Hi. How do you actually, in your different regions of the world, prepare actually to the big climate change crisis? I'm thinking about Spain, Colombia, but also some of the destinations that Altai is in. How do you prepare? You're preparing now for diversifying your tourism products, spreading the tourists, and we can use different type of lingo. Nonetheless, we have this climate crisis ahead of us, and we already know that some destinations are seeing warmer and warmer summers, for instance, and we can see a shift in the movement of tourists from the south to further north, for instance, in the hot summers. So how do you prepare your regions and destinations or your companies for that shift that has to happen in the near future?
Great question. Climate change on the agenda. Who wants to start? That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's from Catalonia. We signed in 2023 the Glasgow Declaration from COP26 in the fighting against the climate change from the tourism perspective. This signature of the Glasgow Declaration is a mandate to develop a climate action plan. Now we have been approving our climate action plan by United Nations Tourism, and now we are developing it. Which chapters have this climate action plan? First of all, elements related with water consumption, with energy consumption, with waste management, with mobility, sustainable mobility, and all these fields, all these fronts are part of our strategy, not from the Catalan Tourism Board, because we are focused on marketing, but by the global government of Catalonia, then the Transport Ministry, the Environment Ministry, they are all of them involved in this development of this climate action plan. It's one of our main priorities. We have a particular office focused in the climate emergency. And during the next years, probably, the most important investment of our government will be focused on that. For example, during the last year from the General Directorate for Tourism in Catalonia, we invested 110 million euros in support the companies that are adapting to the climate change, in particular for the water consumption and the energy saving. It's just a little part. It's true that the emergency is huge and we need to have more, I don't know, more intense measures, but it's part of the beginning.
I think at the moment that tourism is going, for sure, not enough on this way, but as a civilian or civilian society or the countries. But tourism have to take its part and be probably the best in its practice to do this. For example, what we are doing in Altai, we decided if you spend 1 hour flying, it means at least 1 day on the ground. It's like a decision. It's probably not enough, and probably in 5 years we will decide 1.5 days. Taking like now some small decision and trying to adding these ones in order to make a big change at the end. One thing is also to promote the local tourism. We were really strong in long-haul destination, and we decided to not to cut these ones, but our clients probably in 5 years we will go on a long-haul destination once a year or only once for 2 years, and they will travel more near from host. So we have to look the small things. We won't change it. We won't invent a turbofan without gasoline. We are not in this one. We have to make some direct and small changes day after day in order to make the tourism that the best one and the best practices for the climate changing.
I would just like to add that conservation without financing, or like financing is just conversation, is that for example, in Colombia, in the Amazon, you see, and there is a map that where there is tourism, there's less deforestation than when there is not. So, and actually, tourism can be one of the sources, and cannot be the only one, but it is one of the sources that it's stopping deforestation, and it's actually improving the conservation that is happening in Colombia. So, because we need also source of money, and we need like opportunities for these things to happen. We have a treasure that we need to keep for the rest of the world, and we know that we have that, but we need you also to keep that treasure that is the Amazon, and is that all our diversity to keep alive.
Yeah. It's a big one. I mean, climate change, there's no silver bullet, right? I think it's going to be, so the challenge is the emergency is here, it's coming fast, but there's no silver bullet. There's no single recipe. There's no way to solve it all. So it's small steps. It's also considering what Julie just said. Conservation without finance, without funding, it's just conversation. So what's, again, the balancing act between the flux of money that international travelers will bring to a destination to fund conservation, to fund change, and improve of livelihoods. At the same time, how do we manage the carbon emissions and all of that? So it's, sorry, I'll do a short closing remark here, just to the main topics. And I think a lot of what about conciliation, how do we, the E, yes, E, and how do we conciliate the pressure of growth with sustainability, with doing the right things, and taking small steps, but intentional and steady, fierce small steps towards that matchmaking on growth and sustainability, client expectations and community expectations. We heard from a very interesting point, many interesting points from Patrick, but considering we have been saying we need to be travel or tourism or a destination needs to be good first for the community, So community first. We heard from Patrick here is like, well, consider travelers part of the community so you manage your resources in a different way, because the limitation on resources is always a discussion. So it's a very interesting concept coming from a destination that has a lot of knowledge on dealing with pressure, right? The other thing is the value model. You know, how do we make that shift, which is super hard, easy to say, hard to do, volume model from the value model. And how do we create that? And then, you know, Albania, Colombia can be can experiment based on the lessons learned by the more mature destinations. And then I would say, you know, plan for growth. Growth will come no matter what. And how do you deal with growth in an intentional way so you make tourism and travel as a force for good? I think that's the challenge we are facing. You know, when we are stopped by COVID, we all had that question mark, what's going to happen next? It's going to all come sustainable and all that. It's not coming sustainable. It's really taking all of us to do the right thing. And then thinking on the long-term, you know, long-term thinking and mindset with short-term planning cycles, like the 3-year planning cycles involving all stakeholders. So that's my main takeaways. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was meaningful to you. We're really grateful for you all to be here at our AdventureCONNECT. We hope this conversation will spark more conversation outside. We invite you to join us for drinks, as we will be serving some wine, beer, and water. And I have Eva, my colleague, here to a final word. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. May I please actually have the slideshow back on to our talented AV team?
Should we go off stage, Eva? Or should
Yes, please. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Well, since that took a second, I thought you'd be more comfortable sitting down there. So we have one more fun thing. Actually, we have many more fun things. Besides the drinks, we have one more giveaway. I promised there would be more at the end. So for those of you who stayed to the end, there is a chance for you to win a prize provided by We Travel, our co-hosting partner for the drinks that are coming later, soon. So to the fellow who's comfortably seated right behind Anna, completely not noticing what's happening right now, we have a prize. All for showing up and staying to the end, you can imagine. And now, I said thank you to the AV team. Do you all remember what I said at the very beginning? I mentioned something about ATTA team, ambassadors, ATTA members, and those of you who are here for the first time. So those of you who are here for the first time, please find one of us, make the connection. That's what we're all here to do, the in-person connection. Make it happen. And if you feel like you'd like more information, you can visit us in our booth. We'll be there bright and early tomorrow. Well, 10 o'clock is not too early. With that, I have another surprise, and that is that the drinks will be served going out this way. So all of you who are in the back of the room, I'm sorry that you came late, but I'm not really, because the people who are in the front of the room, they get to go first. With that, thank you so very, very much for coming.